The book of Zechariah, chapter 11. Open thy doors, O Lebanon, and the fire shall devour thy cedars. Howl, fir trees, for the cedar is fallen, because all the mighty are destroyed. Howl ye, O oaks of Bashan, for the defenced forest is cut down. There is the voice of the howling of the shepherds, for their glory is destroyed. The voice of the roaring of lions' whelps, for the pride of Jordan is destroyed. Thus saith the Lord my God, feed the sheep of the slaughter. They that possess them, slay them, and sin not. And they that sell them, say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds spare them not. Surely I will no more spare those that dwell in the land, saith the Lord. But lo, I will deliver the men, every one into his neighbor's hand, and into the hand of his king, and they shall smite the land, and out of their hands I will not deliver them. For I fed the sheep of the slaughter, even the poor of the flock, and I took unto me 2 staves, the one I called Beauty, and the other I called Band, and I fed the sheep. 3 shepherds also I cut off in 1 month, and my soul loathed them, and their soul abhorred me. Then said I will not feed you. That dieth, let it die, and that perisheth, let it perish, and let the remnant eat, every one the flesh of his neighbor. And I took my staff, even Beauty, and brake it, that I might disannul my covenant, which I had made with all people. And it was broken in that day, and so the poor of the sheep that waited upon me knew that it was the word of the Lord. And I said unto them, If ye think it good, give me my wages, and if no, leave off. So they weighed for my wages 30 pieces of silver. And the Lord said unto me, Cast it unto the potter, a goodly price, that I was valued at of them. And I took the 30 pieces of silver, and cast them to the potter in the house of the Lord. Then brake I mine other staff, even Bands, that I might dissolve the brotherhood between Judah and Israel. And the Lord said unto me, Take to thee yet the instruments of a foolish shepherd. For lo, I will raise up a shepherd in the land, which shall not look for the thing that is lost, nor seek the tender lambs, nor heal that is hurt, nor feed that standeth up. But he shall eat flesh of the fat, and tear their claws in pieces. O idle shepherd, that leaveth the flock, the sword shall be upon his arm, and upon his right eye. His arm shall be cleaned, dried up, and his right eye shall be utterly darkened. Zechariah chapter 12. Burden of the Lord upon Israel, saith the Lord, which spread the heavens, and laid the foundation of the earth, and formed the spirit of man within him. Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of poison unto all the people round about, and also with Judah will he be in the siege against Jerusalem. And in that day will I make Jerusalem an heavy stone for all people. All that lift it up shall be torn, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it. In that day, saith the Lord, I will smite every horse with astonishment, and his rider with madness. And I will open mine eyes upon the house of Judah, and will smite every horse of the people with blindness. And the princes of Judah shall say in their hearts, The inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength, and the Lord of hosts their God. In that day I will make the princes of Judah like coals of fire among the wood, and like a firebrand in the sheep. And they shall devour all the people round about on the right hand and on the left, and Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. The Lord also shall preserve the tents of Judah, as aforetime. Therefore the glory of the house of Judah shall not boast, nor the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem against Judah. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them in that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God's house, and as the angel of the Lord before them. And in that day I will destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem, and I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and compassion, and they shall look upon me whom they have pierced, and they shall lament for him, as one mourneth for his only son, and be sorry for him, as one is sorry for his firstborn. In that day shall there be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as the mourning of Hadad-Rimmon in the valley of Megiddo. And the land shall bewail every family apart, and the family of the house of David apart, and their wives apart, family of the house of Nathan apart, and their wives apart, family of the house of Levi apart, and their wives apart, family of Shimei apart, and their wives apart, all the families that remain, every family apart, and their wives apart. Zechariah chapter 13. In that day there shall be a fountain opened to the house of David and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem for sin and for uncleanness. And in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, I will cut off the names of the idols out of the land. They shall no more be remembered. And I will cause the prophets and the unclean spirit to depart out of the land. And when any shall yet prophesy, his father and his mother that begat him shall say unto him, Thou shalt not live, for thou speakest lies in the name of the Lord. And his mother and his father that begat him shall thrust him through when he prophesieth. And in that day shall the prophets be ashamed, every one of his vision, when he hath prophesied. Neither shall they wear a rough garment to deceive, but he shall say, I am no prophet, I am an husbandman, for man taught me to be an herdsman from my youth up. And one shall say unto him, What are these wounds in thine hands? And he shall answer, Thus was I wounded in the house of my friends. Arise, O sword, upon my shepherd, and upon the man that is my fellow, saith the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered. And I will turn mine hand upon the little one. And in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring that third part through the fire, and will find them as the silver is fined, and I will try them as gold is tried. And they shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, It is my people, and they shall say, The Lord is my God. Zechariah chapter 14. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses spoiled, and the women defiled. And half of the city shall go into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then the Lord shall go forth, and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle. And his feet shall stand in that day upon the Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem on the east side. And the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof, toward the east and toward the west. There shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall be removed toward the north, and half of the mountain toward the south. And ye shall flee unto the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach unto Azal. Yea, ye shall flee like as ye fled from the earthquake in the days of Uzziah king of Judah. And the Lord my God shall come, and all the saints with thee. And in that day shall there be no clear light, but dark. And there shall be a day, it is known to the Lord, neither day nor night, but about the eventime shall be light. And in that day shall the waters of life go out from Jerusalem, half of them toward the east sea, and half of them toward the uttermost sea, and shall be both in summer and winter. And the Lord shall be king over all the earth. In that day shall there be one Lord, and his name shall be one. All the land shall be turned as a plain from Geba to Rimmon, toward the south of Jerusalem. And it shall be lifted up and inhabited in her place, from Benjamin's gate unto the place of the first gate, unto the corner gate, and from the tower of Hananiel unto the king's wine presses. And men shall dwell in it, and there shall be no more destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away, though they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume in their holes, and their tongue shall consume in their mouth. But in that day a great tumult of the Lord shall be among them, and every one shall take the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. And Judah shall fight also against Jerusalem, and the arm of all the heathen shall be gathered round about, with gold and silver and great abundance of apparel. Yet this shall be the plague of the horse, of the mule, of the camel, and of the ass, and of all the beasts that be in the tents of this plague. But it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and keep the Feast of Tabernacles. And whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall come no rain. And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, it shall not rain upon them. This shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the heathen that come not up to the Feast of Tabernacles. This shall be the punishment of Egypt, and the punishment of all the nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. In that day shall there be written upon the bridles of the horses, the holiness unto the Lord. And the pots in the Lord's house shall be like the bowls before the altar. Yea, every pot in Jerusalem and Judah shall be holy unto the Lord of hosts, and all they that sacrifice shall come and take of them and seed therein. And in that day there shall be no more the Canaanite in the house of the Lord of hosts.